Greetings, diners, and welcome to another edition, or special Fish Friday edition of the Collapse Cafe here on the Doomstead Diner. And it's a very significant Friday today, which is why I decided I had to do a video, okay? I usually do them for Sundays, although I don't usually record them on Sundays. This one I'm actually recording on a Friday. But not the Friday you'll see it, because I got to edit it. This Friday, what's the date? I don't even remember. 17th, maybe? Yeah. January 17th. Very significant. Donald Trump impeachment has gone to the Senate. John Roberts has been sworn in. And let's get some video going on that. Okay. Spice up the total video experience here. Has been sworn in. There's lots of new news today coming from Lev Parnas, the associate, so to speak, of consigliere Rudy Giuliani, who has said in no uncertain terms that Trump-Bolvetsky knew everything and he is lying through his teeth, which I'm sure we all know, okay? Anybody who follows this story and has a half a brain realizes that he's a pathological liar and that he's out of control, okay? And so now we're going to see a show trial in the Senate and see just how it plays out, whether any Republican senators will defect and vote with the Democrats, who will vote as a bloc to ask for witnesses and further evidence to be admitted, while the main honchos in the repugnant party, McConnell and so forth, will attempt to prevent further witnesses and make it a real monkey trial, you know. It's going to be an exciting week next week, okay? And as a result, I had to do a celebration video of this important occasion, all right? So what are we having for brunch here on this special Fish Friday? Well, of course, our Bloody Mary. And another really loaded one, and a big one in my skull glass with two skewers. We have the Trumpovetsky skewer over here with the egg, and his orange hair today is a cocktail shrimp, okay? Which is fish. And shellfish, but fish. And then on this skewer, we have a couple of more cocktail shrimp and a couple of olives, okay? Pimento stuffed, which are good. And the ingredients of the Bloody Mary are the usual, okay? You've got your vodka, you've got your tomato juice, well, today it was V8, okay? A little bit of beef broth, Dimitri's seasoning, Bloody Mary seasoning. Thanks again, Dimitri. I don't have room for your bottle here today, and because I got another sponsor. And so I will be drinking this presently, but for now, I'm going to move it out of the way, so you could see the rest of what we're going to eat today. All right? Fish, right? Fish Friday. So out here in front, you see my favorite anchovy-capped tomato. All right? And that's a Roma tomato this time, because that was the cheapest ones on sale at Three Bears that day. And then up here on the little board is sushi, okay? And we've got California rolls. And over here, we have some nigiri with salmon, all right? My favorite fish, really. I used to like tuna better, but now I prefer salmon since moving to Alaska. And we have a little bit of ginger over here, okay, to go with it. And then we've got our soy sauce, and this is our new sponsor, Kikkoman, okay? And this is low sodium soy sauce. So if you're watching your sodium intake, use this stuff, all right? It's good. So we're going to add some soy sauce here. Okay, that should be enough. And we'll move this guy out of the way. And then we add some Japanese horseradish, aka wasabi. All right? And got some chopsticks here, and this is about the only thing I can still do with a set of chopsticks. I'm not even sure I can do this. Okay, I got it in there. I used to be able to eat like this whole meal using chopsticks, but not anymore. Fingers don't work good enough anymore. And you want to stir it up real good so the wasabi all dissolves in the soy sauce. Okay. All right. I will finish mixing it later. All right. And you know, the usual process is to dip it in and put a little ginger on it and then eat it in one big bite. Okay? Because if you try to eat it in a couple of bites, it falls apart. All right? So you got to munch the whole thing at once. And I used to hand roll my own sushi too, but I don't do that anymore. This is bought already rolled and cut up at Cars. No, Fred Meyer. Okay? So, let me move these out of here so I can have a sip of my Bloody Mary. And put them in the back here. And we shall eat them presently. Running out of room on my table. So, I will get to eating this in after the show because you don't want to watch me eat. That's not a very exciting broadcast, right? Okay. But the food is good, and I will have a picture of it so you could see it better later. I will shoot that later. I forgot to shoot it already. Should have shot it before I messed up the table. All right, so Trumpavetsky is going to get tried for impeachment one way or the other. We don't know yet exactly how it's going to play out, but it will be a very entertaining week. And along with that, we're approaching the end of the month, which is when Brexit is supposed to go down over in Europe. Okay? And the Brits are supposed to leave the European Union one way or the other, either a hard Brexit or with a deal or no deal or whatever. But they've kicked the can down the road so many times, I personally will be very surprised if there is an actual Brexit. I don't know if that can actually occur. All right? It's like the Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never leave. And we have the assortment of other things going on around the globe. Really, really bad fires in Oz, Australia. And the weather there is uncomfortably hot. And there are people camping out on the beaches just to stay away from the fires that are consuming their homes. and so they don't get trapped. You know, they at least have water right next to them, okay? And since it's so hot, just the temperatures, you know, not the fire, you need to cool off somehow, and so you need some water around for that. And the ocean, while it's not drinkable water, is good for dipping in and cooling yourself off. I hope they brought plenty of sunblock, though. Okay? And then here in the fascist states of America, we have international problems ongoing, which are with Iran in general, and an escalating situation. The Iranians say they are back to producing fissionable material for their nuclear plants, and the Koreans, North Koreans, say they are preparing more missiles and missile launch tests and waving the saber, rattling the saber. And Trumpavetsky, of course, rattles his back. It's, you know, who has the biggest swinging dick here? That is what politics has become as we proceed down the collapse highway. So, you know, you can't count up all the shit that's going on. And it's like, you know, the fish, okay? If it looks like a fish, if it smells like a fish, it's a dead fish. All right? And we have a dead fish of a society on our hands. And, you know, for many of us, myself included, we're not off the cliff yet because of a variety of either social programs, personal retirement funds, etc., etc. But I know of at least 2 diners who have been basically forcibly retired lately, who are in my age range. And so they are without work. And then, of course, there's the large supply of young people who are graduating college with enormous debts that are not being paid. Okay, $1.6 trillion in student debt right now. And virtually none of it's being paid off. And it will never be paid off. Okay, that is what Antal Fekete called irredeemable debt. And it's just a matter of extend and pretend with the whole monetary system because of that. And we don't know exactly where or when the wire will trip, but it will. All right? And you should prepare yourself for it. Prepare for a world where your money is not going to function very well, if it does at all. All right? If you hold dollars right now, it's like the best looking dog in the pound. All right? Every single currency, major currency, and the minor ones even worse, is in bad shape for one reason or another. Generally speaking, too much debt, an overhang, an overload of debt that has been used to generate the industrial civilization we live in. So, it's going to crash, and how you secure yourself is something we discuss all the time in the diner. And you should come by and talk with us about that stuff if you're interested in it, if you're a newbie to it and are just now finding out about it, or even if you're an old timer, because there's still much to discuss. As long as we have the internet, and God only knows how long that's going to last, we have the opportunity to talk to each other and develop our strategies, which vary depending on your circumstances, obviously. And there are many different strategies you can pursue for all different economic conditions that you might be in, from completely broke to, a millionaire, which we got a few of those on the diner too, or we've had them in the past. I think I'm not sure how many we have now. And so, whatever your circumstances are, we can talk about how to prepare for the oncoming collapse of industrial civilization. And then just one more deal that's going on over on our side of the pond on the climate level. So I brought this one up. Let's turn the sound off. And we have a winter storm currently crossing the country, which is going to impact about 200 million people. All right, and you actually have two storms that are converging on each other. You got a well of cold weather, and you're going to get blizzard conditions going across the United States, mostly in the north, but down in the south right now, they're having extreme rainfall events and flooding and so forth and so on, the usual, right? And this is going to make its way all the way across New York City. And so there's going to be some power outages. There's going to be a lot of people having commuting problems. There's going to be a lot of truckers who are stuck in truck stops, if they're lucky, and didn't jackknife on some road somewhere. All right. And trying to continue on with this charade that is now winding itself to a close. And then, as a last finishing touch for today, let's go over to my game. Okay? And I want to check out what's happening there. And this, friends, is another view of the game. This is the inside of my town. And this over here, this part, see all those guys with the brown roofs? Those are my restaurants. They're Manners, okay? And that one's a crab shack, and I got a sushi bar, and I got a Jewish deli, I got a coffee shop. I got all sorts of restaurants. And then you got my medical center. You got the number one up there. You see the bouncing red crosses? That means I got dead warriors who I have to resurrect. And that's one of the nice things about the game. Never run out of resources, and you can raise the dead back to life, okay? It's things you can't do in the real world. But there's a lot of real world stuff in here. So the number one up there with the bouncing cross is the urgent care facility. The number 4 is the doctor's offices. The number 7 is the imaging center. And the number 28 in the back there is our main hospital. Okay? Those are all places that I visit regularly. So, imagination-wise, it's a lot of fun. And over there in the corner, you see a little hammer that is banging. That's a farm that I'm upgrading. Because I have to upgrade a lot of buildings before I can become a level 30, which is my current goal. All right? It's taken me 4 months to get this far. And so that's it for today, Fish Friday. I'll be back again soon enough. Remember, we have the 8th anniversary of the Doomstead Diner coming up next month in February. And I hope to talk to some of you, many of you, one of you, or I'll just talk to myself about the history of the diner and what kind of impacts it might have had for you, and whether it's still a relevant website, because a lot of websites have gone down the tubes in the interim. And we've lasted 8 years, which is well past the average lifespan of this type of website. Almost any type of website. So, stop by and visit on the diner. Contact me through our contact page on the blog. If you don't have my PM and you aren't actually a diner member, you're just a lurker, there's a couple of ways you can contact me that way. And let's talk if you're interested. And that's all to do. This time, until next time, here in the Collapse Cafe of the Doomstead Diner. Hasta la impeachment.